It's Bree, and I have a story for you. If you've been here before, thanks for stopping by. And if you're new here, go ahead and click that red button and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell for notifications, because I know after this story, you guys are going to want to see Bree all the time, every time I upload, bitch. I got fired, which means luckily for you bitches, I have way more time to create content. Considering I have more time on my hands to create more content, I decided to go ahead and sign up for Patreon. Now, if you guys don't know what Patreon is, it's basically a website for content creators where you guys go ahead and pay a monthly subscription. Let me tell you why you should sign up for Bree. I basically kind of want to use Patreon as like my own version of reality TV. Like, I always wanted a reality TV show, and I want Patreon to be that for me. Obviously, there's perks for signing up. You guys get access to my videos first before I upload them to YouTube, 100% ad free. Any merch or any content that I'm gonna come out, any projects that I'm working on, you guys get first dibs and first no. I'll be doing monthly Q&A live streams for an hour long. I really just want to get a little bit more intimate with the people that support me, and with your monthly subscriptions, you guys will be able to put me in a position to chase my dreams a little bit faster, where I will be able to be in a position to give back to the community, you guys that support me. We are obviously in this journey together. You guys inspire me so much to take YouTube way more seriously than a hobby. I'm never in my life going to neglect YouTube. This is just an additional journey that if you guys are ready and willing to join me on, let's do it. I will go ahead and link my Patreon in the description below. I'll also do a community post where you guys can go ahead and sign up there. And don't worry, I am really an influencer, bitch. I'm about to be promoting this all over my social media, so feel free to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Wow, bitch, like, I'm really an influencer, like, wow. So today, I'm gonna be telling you guys a story that I honestly can't even believe happened, and that's why I'm here telling it to you. So today I'm gonna tell you guys about the time I got in a fight with my Uber driver. So this story time takes place in about like 2015 or 2016, where I was just like a regular average LA thought, and I would go to like celebrity parties and black out and sleep on their couches. So this particular story time takes place after a Ray Shrimmer mansion party, and then I went with my friend and we went to Ray Shrimmer's house, and I ended up sleeping over there. Now, the night before, I had completely blacked out. This mansion party that I told you guys I went to, I had completely blacked out. I was mixing all kind of drinks. This was the first party that I had ever went to where everything that you would want was there. An In-N-Out truck. There was like a little table that had like a weed bar where you could like go try different weeds. Girls were passing around blunts, joints. That was free. There were strippers. It was like the mansion party. So obviously, like anybody, I overdid it. I took advantage of all the free shit. And that's how I ended up at Ray Shrimmer's house getting an Uber. I feel like around 2015, 2016, like all the LA thoughts knew where Ray Shrimmer lived, because around this time they lived in like Studio City, like kind of like the valley, but it wasn't like deep in the valley. So I definitely was about at least 40 minutes from my house, and I did not feel good because I told y'all I went a little hard the night before. So I remember when I was requesting my Uber, the guys downstairs was like, damn, Ma, you're not looking too good, like, are you sure you want to go? And I'm like, nah, because my friend not answering my text. Even though I was changing colors, like I was looking seasick or car sick before I even got in the whip, I just knew I actually really did have like places to be. Like, I had shit to do. So I requested my Uber, and I'm outside and I'm waiting. But the thing about me is that, like, for however long that I was drinking, that's how long I'll be sick. So even if I don't necessarily have to throw up, I will feel like I need to throw up for like 8 hours, 12 hours, bro. Like, ask anybody who knows me, I get sick. So I'm outside waiting for my Uber, a black Toyota Prius, the standard Uber car. At this point, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if I'm gonna throw up. I don't know if I'm gonna be sick. All I know is that I have a destination that I need to be to. And if you guys really wanna know the truth, I had a job interview that I needed to go to, because just like how I told you guys at the beginning of the story that I'm currently unemployed, yeah, YouTube is the only thing that's been consistent in my life. I feel like every 4 or 5 months, a bitch needs to find a new job. So I was obviously trying to get myself together mentally and physically to get in this Uber, go home, get ready, and get a job. Now, here's the thing. The Uber driver had passed me one time. I'm like looking around like, okay, like I know that the Uber said she was like 3 minutes away and it's been like 8 minutes, or at least it felt like 8 minutes. So I checked the app and I see that like the Uber is like coming back around the block again. And then as soon as I look this way, the Uber driver smashes past me, and I'm like, it was literally one of those moments where you're like, was that my Uber? So I'm like hauling ass, opening my app, because she moved so fast that I wasn't even able to like correlate the license plates to make sure that that was my Uber, because it was a black Toyota Prius. Like, how many Uber drivers are whipping that? Like, seriously, I'm checking the app and I see that my driver is at the corner, but she's not coming around the block again. She's going in the opposite direction. So at this point, I call her on the phone. I'm like, hey, I think you passed me. And I could kind of tell she had an attitude on the phone, because she's like, oh, well, were you standing outside? I'm like, yeah, you know, I was out here. I'm sorry. So she's like, okay, I'll be on my way back. Now, initially from the phone call, I did not really enjoy her vibe. And I don't want to make it seem like I'm catty or I'm aggressive. I am aggressive. I could be an aggressive ass bitch. So when she gave me that energy, I kind of wanted to match it, but I was feeling so sick that I didn't really want to say too much, because I didn't know what was going to fly out of my mouth. So tell me why she circles around the block again, and then she just stops. And then I'm standing there because I'm like, damn, bitch, was you going to knock me off the curb? Like, that's literally how I felt. So I'm standing there, walk up to the car, and I'm like, hey, are you my Uber driver? She doesn't even say anything. And yeah, I guess it was kind of dumb for me to go, hey, are you my Uber driver? But you passed me twice, and I was like the only girl on the hill. So maybe it was dumb, maybe it wasn't dumb. Y'all can let me know in those comments below. But sometimes I get picked up by Uber drivers and they're like, oh, are you Bree? And I feel like, why did you even ask me that? Like, I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it wasn't really weird for me to ask the Uber driver if she was my driver, considering she already passed me like 2 fucking times. So she didn't even say nothing, y'all. She was just there, like. And so I'm just, you my driver, right? Like, I wasn't in the car. I was just like in the door. I'm like, it's you. And she's like, well, if you look at your app, the car's right here. I'm right here. I'm obviously your rider. I was like, okay. I just slide myself into her back seat, and I don't even want to make any complaints, because like I said, I didn't know if I was going to throw up in this lady's car or not. And the vibe that she was giving me, she was the last person whose car I would want to throw up in, because personally, I know way too many people who have thrown up in Ubers and they had to pay like some unnecessary service fee. Like, I don't know if it's called a service fee. Y'all gonna have to let me know in the comments down below too, but I know more than one person who has paid up to $200 in fees to Uber for throwing up in the whip. And I was definitely not about to be that girl. She starts driving, right? And this was like 2015, 2016. And sometimes I still get this today, because I still don't drive, because I'm still a broke ass bitch. Sign up for my Patreon. I hate being a YouTuber. But yeah, so at the time, I remember that like the Uber ride didn't really like correlate, or it didn't really tell the Uber driver where they were going until they kind of like started moving. So when we started moving and we make it to like the end of the hill, the Uber driver, she's like, oh, so you're going to downtown LA? I told you guys I was in Studio City, so I wasn't like in the valley, but I was definitely with traffic 40-45 minutes away from downtown LA. I will admit that it does feel like traveling across the country, especially with traffic and all the people that don't know how to drive in my city. Okay, but I really didn't like the vibe that she was giving me. Like, yes, this is already like a $30 Uber. How are you complaining, bitch? Yes, I'm going to downtown. Yes, I definitely did not keep the same energy that I'm giving to you guys because I'm trying to not throw up in her whip. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, yeah, I have an appointment. Like, I need to get down there. And in real life, I was just gonna go home and change clothes and then go to my interview, which was already downtown. So I really didn't like the attitude that she was giving me. A lot of times people make it seem like because people do Uber, they're not allowed to have feelings, or they're not allowed to feel some type of way about, you know, how far they're driving or the direction that they're driving. I really do treat all my Uber drivers with respect because at the end of the day, that's their car. But I mean, girl, this is like a good ride. This is like a $30 Uber. I know you're gonna make a good amount of money, so why are you complaining? We're riding in silence. I don't really care how she feels because I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna get a job, if I'm gonna make it to the interview, if I'm gonna throw up in the car at the interview, in the middle, halfway. Like, I'm worried about me, okay? So all of a sudden, I'm in my mind, I'm thinking about my situation. I'm like, damn, you're an idiot. Why did you have to go so hard? Oh, well, I actually don't regret nothing because that was fun as fuck. Like, I'm just, you know, replaying the night in my mind, kind of full of regrets, kind of completely happy that I'm where I am in that moment. Like, yeah, I went too hard. Yeah, I need a day job, but I still had a good time. Why does my Uber driver fuck up my thought process? Like, you guys, have you guys ever been in the Uber and you're just looking out the window like you're in a music video? You know what I'm saying? I got my headphones in. I'm just contemplating my life and all the idiotic decisions that I made the past night before. And I'm just like, how did I end up in this situation? And then all of a sudden, I kind of like realize that my Uber driver's talking to me. So I take like one of my headphones out. I'm like, what? And she's like, oh, you coming from them rapper's house? And I'm like, yeah, I was up there. Now, I'm a very private person. Like, I don't want to say very private because I have like a YouTube channel, but I'm a private person. So I'm going to tell you what you need to know. And if you want to go deeper than that, that was a test to see if you're nosy, because you're not going to get any more than what I've already told you. So I'm like, yeah, I was up there. Like, and she's like, oh, I pick girls up by the boatload from there all the time. So are you one of those kind of girls? And I'm looking at this lady like, okay, you old enough to be my mom. I don't know if you jealous or if you shading me. You know what I'm saying? Because our moms, I don't know why they acting like they didn't go to Freaknik. Like they wasn't kicking it with Tupac and Biggie. Do you want to be me right now? Are you judging me right now? And she was like, I don't know. I just hope you're not one of them girls that I usually be picking up. And I was like, no. I'm on my way to work now. Like, she was literally being so condescending. And I'm just like, sis, take me where I need to go. You know me right now. Don't matter what I did the night before. Don't matter what I do after I get out this car. Just take me where I need to go, sis. I'm just like nodding. You know what I'm saying? And I think she kind of took that the wrong way, because her next statement was, oh, I'm not trying to be in your business. I'm not trying to offend you. I'm just saying. It's just a lot of girls come from there. She was really trying to stereotype me. And technically she was right, but she was also wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because I could have just stayed there and spun around in a circle on a hoverboard like everybody else was doing, but I had priorities. I was trying to get in my bag. So I didn't really appreciate being judged. I physically did not have the energy to match her energy, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't have the energy to be shady. I didn't have the energy to tell her like, oh, can you just take me where I need to go? And I'm just like, oh, you know what? Like, I don't really feel good. I'm trying to get where I need to go. So let's just say after she did her stereotyping and made those awkward comments, that we drove for about 10 to 15 more minutes. So we were way closer to getting onto the freeway. And then the Uber driver was like, hey, I need to get gas. I hope you don't mind. I really don't care. Like, I'm in Uber so much. I really don't care if my Uber driver has to pee, if my Uber driver has to get gas. I understand that they're human beings. So when the Uber driver was like, oh, I'm gonna pull over and get gas, I kind of saw it as an opportunity, like, fuck yes. Like, while she's in there, I can figure out if I need to throw up or not. Cause man, I was so sick. I felt like shit, y'all. Like, I was really sick. Unfortunately for me, the gas process went way too quickly. Like, there was definitely not enough time, and I had already kind of like worked myself up. So like when she went up to the window to pay, because I guess Uber drivers like pay for gas different, I have my door open and I'm kind of like sticking my fingers down my throat because I'm like, all right, I'm gonna need this to come up because I really need to get a job. So you guys gotta understand, like, whatever mindset my Uber driver was in, I was in a completely different mindset because I needed to secure the bag. And on top of that, I probably needed some lemon water and some burnt toast and some Gatorade, some Pedialyte. Like, I needed all of the things. I was like at that point where you're about to vomit and you have like the water coming out. Like, I was at that point. And so when I saw her come back, I'm like, fuck. So I just closed the door. Just close the door, pretend like everything's cool, because I can already tell this lady was going to give me attitude if she even got the vibe that I need to throw up. So when I see her come back from the window, I just close the door and I'm like, all right, whatever you was about to do, just suck it back down. And that was like the dumbest thing that I could have done, because the way my body is set up, if I need to go to sleep, I'm going to sleep. If I need to pee, oh, I need to pee right now. And if I need to throw up, it's happening. Like, I am not in control. My body is in control. Like, dog, like, I go into autopilot. I go into autopilot. That's all y'all need to know. Now, this lady was no dummy. She comes back to the car and she's like, are you okay? Because I saw the door was open. I'm like, I'm good. That's literally all that's the funny part. That's literally all I could say. I'm good. She puts the gas in the car. The freeway was about 5 minutes from the gas station, and we hop on the freeway. So let's just say we're on the freeway for about 10 to 13 minutes. Now, I don't have a really good memory because all the weed that I smoke, but I'm really good with numbers. So if I said 10 to 13 minutes, I'm pretty sure it was specifically 13 minutes. So let's just say we were on the freeway for 13 fucking minutes. We're on the freeway. She's going about 65 miles an hour. And oh my God, the water started running out of my mouth at like a rapid pace, you guys, which is disgusting. So I'm not gonna go like in depth on all the things that I did to try to stop myself from throwing up. But just know that, like, my hands were definitely going into use. And then at one point I was just sitting in the back seat like a squirrel with nuts in his cheeks because I was not trying to throw up in this bitch's car. And I'm like, I think you'll have to pull over. And she's like, what? I'm gonna need you to can you pull over? Honey, I can't really hear you now. I can't really hear you. I think you need to pull. And I'm out the window with it. I am releasing hurl after hurl after hurl. And all I hear is this lady, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You better not be throwing up in my car. You better not be throwing up. I'm contacting Uber. I'm contacting Uber. You know, like when you're throwing up and all the muscles in your stomach are contracting and you are in like the most pain and you need to gasp for air, but for some reason you can't get air. You just keep regurgitating vomit. Yeah. So I was good. I was fine until I hear this bitch talking about she's contacting Uber. I have respect for this lady's car. Like, regardless of what any Uber driver puts me through, and I kind of feel like this story is gonna start a series, bitch, because I don't have no car, so I be in Ubers. I have a gold Uber membership, so I have stories in Ubers, but that's not the point. The point is, I was completely like front body out of the vehicle. I was really trying to be respectful to her car. I'm not gonna throw up in somebody's vehicle where they operate business. I'm not gonna like sabotage somebody's bag, you know what I'm saying? So I was really like looking at her as if she was gonna try to finesse me. And you guys know that I know people who have paid these service fees. Up to $200, you're not gonna get that out of me, sis. At the very bottom of the door, there was like some vomit that had like kind of like splashed back, if that made sense. So I was kind of like looking at that. I noticed that, but I knew that it was not a big deal. Like, I knew that it was not enough to A, cause a smell, and B, like really mess up the interior. So I'm listening to this lady. I'm like subtly like taking pictures. The way I'm talking to you, I was not talking to her. I was like, so we're just gonna sit here until Uber emails you back. And she's like, well, I just think it would be in the best of both of our interests not to move until we figure out what the damages are. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna get out the car and take pictures of the damages. Now, that part I agreed with. I wasn't offended by that. I'm like, you know what? Go ahead. Take a picture of the damages, because quiet as it's kept, I already snuck my own pictures, so I know it's not that bad. I was not trying to sabotage her in any way. I know that that's her job. So I'm like, go ahead, take your pictures, whatever. And then she goes, oh, they are not gonna believe this. She was just saying little stuff, and I'm like, this lady is really going to try to over exaggerate the situation.
So I'm editing, right? And there's like lipstick all over my chin, and I'm just like, why can't I look perfect in one video?
So I'm like, okay, so you communicated with Uber. I'm gonna go ahead and file a report on my end. And she reacted in a way that I was definitely not expecting her to react in, because she had the nerve to get offended by the fact that I was gonna go ahead and do a follow-up report myself. And she's like, well, why are you gonna message them? You're the one who did damage to my property. I'm like, well, I want to make it clear to them that I acknowledge the fact that I did damage to their property, and I want to make sure that I send my pictures as well. Her whole demeanor changes because she realized I'm not an idiot. Like, I'm on top of my shit. So her whole demeanor changes, and she's like, you know what? I'm just going to drop you off. I just want to end this ride and get my money. Da, 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 da. And she starts going on this entire rant. We get back on the freeway. We're back on the road, and we merge from the 405 onto the 110, which is going to take us to downtown LA. And I feel like I'm getting sick again. I'm like emailing the interview because I feel like I'm gonna need to reschedule. This Uber driver would not shut the fuck up. The next person who's gonna get in my car, they're gonna be complaining. I'm about to get 2 stars. I might as well just go home. Like, I kind of related to her because I had gave up on that interview, and she was giving up on doing her Uber, but she was overreacting. Like, I was being as respectful as possible, even though I didn't really necessarily vibe with this woman. Why can't she be respectful of the fact that I don't want to sabotage her? Now, what happens next? You guys are probably gonna judge me, and I'm used to it. So just go off in those comments, because it doesn't affect me either way. So we're super close to my house. I already know I'm not gonna make it to this interview. I already communicated that. And so I asked the Uber driver to pull over one more time. We were literally like 6 minutes from my house. She's like, are you serious? Like, she kind of like dragged it out. And I feel like she kind of wanted to set me up, because it's like, you could tell that something was in my throat. Like, I literally sounded like I had a frog in my throat. I'm like trying to roll the windows down, and the windows are not rolling down. And I'm like, I know this bitch is not put on child lock. Like, how unnecessary is that? Why would you put on child lock and I've already vomited in your vehicle? Why are you trying to set me up, bitch? I'm like jamming on it, jamming on it. And it's just like, it's not that serious. It's not that serious. Couldn't even reply to this bitch. At this point, I'm just completely thinking. All the nasty thoughts are in my head. Like, because nothing is coming out of my mouth. So she hears me like jamming on it, and then she pulls over. I get completely out of the vehicle and throw up. So I leave her. I leave my bag in the car. I have the door wide open, and I'm just like throwing up on the street. This is where all hell breaks loose. I'm listening to this lady. I didn't even have to pick you up. You are definitely getting 1 star from me. Uber's gonna hear about this. Don't you think I have other people that I need to pick up? Don't you think I have other places I need to be? I already didn't even want to drive from Studio City all the way over here. Mind you, that's her job, to drive people. I'm on the corner hurling, and she's telling me how she's gonna contact Uber, how she too old for this, how this is not what she signed up for. And as soon as I release that last portion of vomit, I turn around to her and I'm like, do you need me to walk home from here, bitch? I had no interest in respecting this lady any further. She decides to take it to the next level and goes into the back seat and starts to remove my belongings for me. I'm like, oh my God, I do not want to have to punch on somebody's mom right now. So I'm like, hey, it's not necessary. I can get my stuff myself. I'm one of those people, I want to see how far you think you're gonna go. So I let the lady throw my bag out, and my purse almost hit my vomit because she intentionally threw my bag in the direction of where I vomited. It's like, I get it. I understand I was an inconvenience. I understand that I was not the girl that you signed up for today when you turned your little app on to drive Uber. I understand. I literally put myself in her shoes, and I felt where she was coming from. But this is what we're not going to do. What we're not going to do is throw my belongings into the street, especially all the stuff that I worked hard to scam for. While she's in the back seat about to throw my jacket onto the curb with my purse, I have already picked my bag up and I'm looking through it because I'm like, if my memory doesn't fail me, I had a complimentary Fiji bottle from the party last night. So I'm looking through my bag because I'm like, throw my jacket and see what happens. And that's exactly what she did. Sis took my Zara coat and flung it out of the door that I kept open. So like the back seat, I guess. So she threw it out of the back seat. So that means that she has to go around and close my door, because at this point I'm not closing the door for you, right? So I watched the lady. I'm calm. I have my composure. I'm like, all right, sis, let's see who gets the last laugh. So she closes the door, then she walks back to her door, and I politely follow her. And she's like, I don't know what you're following me for. And I'm not saying nothing. I'm just following a lady. And I could tell she's kind of getting tense. Like, because anybody would kind of feel like, what are you following me for? Especially if I'm following you like Jason for Friday. I'm not saying no words, and I'm walking very slowly behind you. Like, I'm keeping my distance, but I'm on your ass. And I'm just looking at her like, so you want to throw my stuff on the street? That's how you feel? Mind you, she didn't even cancel my ride yet. I'm like, so you're just going to throw my stuff on the street? That's how you feel? And I'm just saying it over and over and over. And she is trying to justify why she felt like throwing my belongings on the curb by where I vomited made sense to her. And in the middle of her explanation, I reach in my bag, I take out my complimentary water bottle, and I pour all of it into Sis's lap. I mean, I literally like, Sis got super soaked because I was not playing. You're not just going to throw my stuff on the street and not even cancel my ride. You're not going to be rude to me from beginning to end and think that you're not going to get any repercussions. So I definitely unleashed that entire water bottle into Sis's lap. I was not playing with her. She was so shocked that I poured an entire water bottle onto her that she couldn't even drive off. Like, she was literally like just changing gears, reversing, going forward, and I crushed the water bottle and just threw it in her car because I wasn't far from my house in the first place. When I tell you, I felt so good walking that 6 blocks back to my house. I didn't have no job, and I probably was gonna be banned from Uber for a while, even though I wasn't. I made sure to give that lady 1 star, and I made sure to do a very lengthy complaint. So I hope that she's definitely not in that profession anymore, because a people's person, she is definitely not. And that's the story of how I got into it with my Uber driver. If you guys like this video, go ahead and turn that thumbs up. Blue. Support your girl. Get those fingers moving in the comments below and let me know how you would have handled it. Yes, I got a little feisty, a little sassy, a little city girls at the end, but it was worth it. I mean, don't put people in those situations if you don't want to deal with how they're going to react, especially complete strangers. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Till next time.